My name is Beth, and I'm back today to record another charm reading for you guys. I had a little bit of issue with my camera. I seemed to lose the chat. I don't know in the so I'm starting again. I'm just gonna pull some charms. And while I'm doing that, I'm just going to. There we go. Um, to talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on with me. Yeah, so I am still doing my usual spiel. I'm still doing private readings if you guys want to book a private reading, and if you want to donate, you can donate. In the links are in the description box. um Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here with these charms. The charms are wild today. So I am going to jump in and see what we get. That's my favorite one right there. Ah. Huh. Just kind of see what we've got. Now this turtle came up in the last reading, so I'm going to put that back in. We also had this Three of Swords piece, or this broken piece. The marble didn't come out though. And it's interesting, there's so many things here that I want to address first. First off is this marble. This marble I found in the community garden down on a day where I was in probably one of the worst I've ever been in. And I was at a point in which I don't know if it was just that I felt like things were going so wrong, or if I just felt so like kind of unmotivated, or it just felt like nothing I did could go right, or just felt like a sense of despair, kind of. And interestingly, is that this marble, along with other marbles, popped out of nowhere. And you can see it's very pretty. It's like a very pretty blue. It popped up as kind of like this surprise element when I was transplanting a whole bunch of dirt out of the community garden, because the community garden space was actually bought. The property was bought, and they told us we had to transplant everything out. So I did. And on that day in particular, I remember looking at this, being that is so pretty. And just thinking to myself that it's just so unexpected, and it was kind of like a sign of. So I feel like for some of you, there's something that's going to pop up out of nowhere that's going to give you some hope. And I don't know what that's going to be, because again, this marble was so unexpected, you know? And I actually think that this marble, this blue marble, popped up later when I transferred the dirt to this other property that I was working on last summer. So I just remember thinking to myself that day that it was like a sign. It was a sign of hope, because to me the marble, all the marbles that I found came from this children's plot that we had basically been given to use, and all these kids had put all these like toys and stuff in there. There was all these marbles that came out of it, and that was totally unexpected and kind of interesting. So to me this is having positive relationship to kids. Like there's like something to do with kids, something with play. Some of you may have just like a lot of fun with kids, or you might be spending a lot of time with your kids at this time. To me, it's a lighthearted energy. It's also something very pretty. So, like, some of you need to do things like maybe for your house or your apartment that kind of make it a little bit more pretty, or like maybe buy something pretty for yourself, something small, it's like those little things that we start to do for ourselves that I don't know, makes us feel pretty or gives us hope for things. So, I don't know, that's one of the first thing that I wanted to address, was this marble, was this the sense of unexpected. It came from the children's plot. So there is a lot of energy of children and kids here in this reading. I want to say. We also have this rune next to like this washer, and I got this washer. I found it in the complex where I live, and to me this is the energy of fixing something. It's going to go well. Whatever it is that you're fixing, you're going to be able to fix it, because we have this check mark here. And even though this, I don't remember like the correct, I'm kind of slow learning runes, honestly. I don't know what the correct name for this rune specifically, but to me this is it feels very positive. It feels like you're checking off a box, like, okay, we're going to fix this, check, and we're going to fix that, check. And it's going to get done. Something's going to get done with it, and it feels good to me. That's what I want to say. It's near this slipper, this ballet slipper, which is very different energy. So like, to me, this is like very masculine energy. And then we have this slipper, which is like very feminine energy. So like for some of you, like, you might be dating someone who's really, really masculine, and you might be very, very feminine, or you might be dating someone who just brings out your masculine side or brings out your feminine side. But to me, there's also like some kind of element of contrast here. And there's also this element of it going, again, whatever it is that you're fixing, it going well. Because to me, this slipper represents the concept of landing softly, this energy of softness. So it's going to come as like a relief, whatever it is that you're fixing. Whatever it is that you're doing that's going to bring out your softness. Now, you might be dating someone who kind of brings out this softer side of you, or this softness in you, or like the feminine side in you. You might be dating someone who is like a Mr. Fix-It, or likes to fix things. Or is like one of those dudes that works at one of those shops that's like fixes things. Very fascinating here. Okay, we also have this football charm, which to me represents actually screen time, a lot of screen time, spending a lot of time maybe watching sports, or spending time like on your cell phone or watching TV or things like that. It can represent like being really into sports, playing sports, being on a team, things like that, but it doesn't have to. It represents to me like the element of like screen time. So I don't know if I shared this with you guys, but like when I lived in Omaha, I worked at this, oh my God, terrible bar. And it was wall to wall flat screens. And I had the lucky job of delivering 18-ounce beers to these groups of people that would come in just for sit in front of this massive flat screen and watch basketball or whatever what this game was that was on. And they would just sit there and drink their beer and watch their game. And sometimes they'd order some food and sometimes they wouldn't. But that was my job. And I called them the gas guzzlers, because they would just drink. I don't even know how they could even drink that much beer, but they could really drink beer. Okay. It is funny because I'm talking about Nebraska a lot lately in my videos, but like, yeah, like I worked at the bar there, and it just, I think that's probably like the lowest of the low that I've ever been, like as far as jobs. But it gives you a lot of great perspective and great stories, and Those of you, you might be going out to a place like that. You might be going to like a bar somewhere and there might be a bunch of flat screens and you're just kind of hanging out and drinking beer or something, or you might meet somebody that way. But again, we have a strong contrast between the masculine energy and the feminine energy here. To me, this is dating. I actually feel like this is dating. Some of you dating, or going out someplace with someone on a date. That's what it feels like to me. Could be going to like an Italian restaurant, and then maybe going, or meeting somebody at a bar and then going to a Italian restaurant. To me, there's an Italian vibe here. I don't know what it is. It feels like to me, it's like I'm seeing like kind of like like a romantic kind of dinner. There's romance here. This could be date night for some of you. But I like the energy of this fixing thing, this fixing something that you're doing. I don't know what that is, but you're going to get it fixed. That's what I see. I feel like you're going to get it fixed and it's going to go well. You're going to cry because you're going to be so relieved that it's fixed. It's making me cry. I don't know what it is that you're fixing, but like you're going to feel relieved. Like, I can't even tell you how relieved you're going to feel. Like, you're going to feel really, really good. To me, it feels really, really good. And to me, it's like that clarity, like, I remember there was a time where I went and I had this exhaust issue. Like, my car sounded like it had an exhaust problem. And it had it's called a flex pipe problem. And it's a very common problem. And I remember taking it to Toyota to have them do my timing belt. I could only afford my timing belt. I could not afford at that time for them to diagnose my car with the other problem. But they told me that it was a flex pipe problem when I was there, after they did the timing belt. And that was a huge relief to me because I was like, oh, thank God I know what it is. And I took it to like an exhaust dude here in town and they fixed my flex pipe and then no more issue. So I feel like whatever it is that you're trying to fix, it's going to be a huge relief. It's going to come as a huge, huge relief. Okay. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, shall we? Because this is my favorite part of the job, okay? And you can see here what this looks like. And this is exactly what you think it looks like. And I got this from, and we're going to stand it up right over there. I got this from this Etsy seller, Crystal Dippity. And I think I've told this story before, but that's okay. And I got it because I was like, I need to have a charm in my charm bag that represents, like, if somebody asks me, am I going to sleep with them? What the answer is going to be. So we have that charm. And the funny thing is that I was thinking that it was going to be much smaller. So like I thought this charm, okay, you can see it's actually quite big. Okay, it is. It's going to be like a miniature, okay? But it's not. It was the funniest moment of unboxing that I think I'd ever had with a charm. We lost our focus here. We lost our focus. There we go. So this is a funny reading. I know this funny reading. Anytime that comes out, it's a great reading. Some of you are very sex focused, okay? And some of you are going to sleep with someone that you want to sleep with. And I feel like actually it's going to be really hot. It's going to be really, really hot. Like there's somebody, and I feel like the temperature in this room just kind of went up. But like I feel like there's someone that you're going to sleep with and it's really hot. And the reason I say that is because there's this tiny little, it's like a little dragon charm. This represents actually friends in spirit, which is a whole nother story, but like it's friends in spirit. But it reminded me of this book that I have that I read. And I've talked about this book a lot of times. It's called Pigs Don't Fly. And there's this character in there that she ends up sleeping with. And like, it's very passionate, like it's really hot. And so I feel like whoever you're going to sleep with, my guys are showing me that. And like, okay, so the character is actually a dragon. Like he transforms from being like a man to a dragon and back again. So he has all this fire energy. So you might be dating a fire sign, okay, or someone who has a lot of fire in their chart. To me, this is like passion for somebody, serious passion for someone. Whoever it is you're sleeping with, it's gonna be hot. That's it's gonna be, bottom line here of the story. Let me see what else. I want to pull some other charms. I feel like for some of you, we have the zipper here. The zipper to me represents moving really quite quickly in a relationship, or like, let's just say, to me, it's like if you were hooking up with someone, making out, whatever, it would quickly lead to sex. So like you might have sex on the first date, or you might meet up with someone and have sex quite quickly. To me, that's the zipper charm. The thing that there's a couple of things in this reading which I'm not particularly fond of. We have this, to me, this is holly, the plant holly, and in my trees oracle deck, the holly tree represents infidelity. It represents cheating and dishonesty. Now, like, I know the holly tree and like can have a lot of other meanings, especially because my favorite yerba mate is in the holly family, and that has a strong friendship vibe. Now, you might be sleeping with a friend, or like you might have a friend with benefit situation, or something like that. But to me, when this shows up, there's some elements of deception. Like there's some kind of third party, or there's some kind of thing where you're not getting what you want out of a relationship. Now, does that necessarily mean there's cheating? There's a lot of kind of shades of gray of cheating too, as well. So it's not just like, oh, somebody's cheating, and to me, it's more of just like more of a shade of gray. But like to me, the opposite charm, it says your heart's desire, and when it's in reverse, it's kind of like the reverse. It's like whatever it is that you're wanting, maybe from a relationship, or maybe at this time in general from stuff. It's like the reverse of that. So maybe you're not getting what you want from certain elements in your life. If we were to look at this, like, and apply it kind of like as like an overall theme, let's just say you're not getting, maybe like if you wanted to have children, or like maybe you're not getting that, I don't know, that positive, I want to say it's like a positive surprise, or that positive thing out of life, which gives you fun, or that playtime, that play element. Maybe you don't have money to go out and do fun things, or maybe you don't have time to do fun things, but to me, it's like you're missing out on the fun aspect of life. For some of you, maybe you're not getting to spend a lot of time outside because we have this flower charm. Maybe it's like you're not getting, let's just say, a relationship where you're not having some kind of passionate connection because for whatever reason, there's a lot of conflict in a relationship. We do have this tomahawk here. So, that's like this is like conflict. Now, anytime this is in the periphery, and to me it's on the outside of this reading, so it's like over here, it's something that is present in your life. Doesn't necessarily mean it's like something that you got like a major theme. However, like there was this girl today like who was walking by, and she was like screaming into her phone something about some kind of altercation that somebody got into. So I really I'm a very vocal person about being mindful that all kinds of stuff like domestic violence stuff, it does exist. and all kinds of things can pop out of nowhere that you least expect. And there's all kinds of crazy things that can happen with a lot of people. And all I can tell you is if it's in the periphery, it's like maybe something that's going on in your area, or something that's going on in your complex, or something that's going on with a roommate, or something that's going on with a friend. It could be a family. This could be something that's like affecting you like indirectly, okay? But you want to be careful about this energy because it's one of those things where if you get too close to it, you get hurt. So you just want to steer clear is what I want to say with that. And to not engage, like not talk, like not text. Like if you start to get into like a text war, like text, like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is just not engaging with anybody like that's, like to me, the tomahawk is the stuff that brings out the worst in you. So like a lot of times it's family, it could be friends, it could be people, that just bring out the worst. Now to me, like the things that get me, and it's very interesting, I think my Mars is in Libra. So like I'll fight, but I'll fight like when I'm like really speaking the hardcore truth, where somebody needs to hear the truth. And I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it. I'm just gonna be like, this is the truth, this is the effing truth. I'm telling you, this is how it is. And it's very, very sharp, and it can be very, very painful for people to hear. The people in my life. And it hasn't helped me in a lot of ways, but like I don't ever regret it, because I feel like in some way I'm fighting for the truth. I'm fighting for my truth, and I'm speaking my truth. And I'd rather speak my truth and them not talk to me than not speak the truth. So to me that like just be careful, like, pick your battles wisely is what I want to tell you. And my dad is like always in my head when I'm in my readings, go easy. He'd always tell me, go easy. My aunt would be like, you're too anxious. So she'd tell me, so some of you need to go easy and like really not engage with this kind of energy. If somebody is starting with you, like really do not, shut it down. Just shut it down and be like, I'm not going to fight, period. End of story. I'm not fighting, da 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 da. And then, and walk away, disengage, leave the room, get into your car and go. Because I'm just going to say this, because I saw that person today walking down the street, screaming into the phone, there might be some collective stuff happening. And my guides are showing me this, some kind of collective thing. And, it's weird because I think, and I said that this was going to happen. I actually did say this like a while back. This is, I think, part of the 7 years of tribulation that we're kind of coming up against. Is that there's a lot of anger. That's a lot of repressed anger about the pandemic, about what's happened. Okay? It's a lot of angry people. And all of that anger in the collective is going to pop at some point. It's going to happen. I did say, 7 years of tribulation, I felt like by 2025, people are going to be really, really pissed off. So it's sort of like this anger energy that like needs to like go somewhere. But like right now, everybody's kind of clamping it down. Like it's kind of like, it's almost like everybody's not focused on it so much and sort of more in a state of resentment. But then when that resentment gets ripe, people can get triggered. When something's ripe, it's just going to come out. It's going to come out and people are going to, get really, really upset. And a lot of times it's things that piss us off, like that we're not anticipating are going to piss us off. The little things, like if there's any cheating with a partner, it's going to piss you off more than it would have maybe pre-pandemic. Okay. It's interesting. I went to the doctor not too long ago, and she said that everybody, whatever feelings they may feel like, now they're 10 times more than how they felt before, which is really interesting to me. I was not expecting her to say that. Okay. So, whatever it is you're feeling, it might be kind of, I don't want to say blown out of proportion, but like, if you're feeling all of your feelings, you might have a lot more intense feelings at this time than to say you would normally. Now, the way to do it, I'm going to show you guys this again. Okay. The way to do it is got to channel his energy here. We all know what that is, okay? Got to channel the energy, okay? Into passion, things that you're passionate about. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to have sex, but just means like you gotta channel it to something, okay? But also be mindful if somebody's having a bad day. You know, if somebody's really pissy, if somebody's like short on temper, short on sleep, be very, very mindful, cautious, and careful about like engaging in a conversation with them, because they're more than likely to have an angry moment if they're in that space, in that state. Let's see. We have this charm. It says, for this child, I have prayed. It's very interesting. This charm pops out when somebody is pregnant, but it's kind of unexpected. Like a long time ago, I saw this actually for someone at work. I don't remember if I did a reading for that person or whatnot, but this came out for somebody who was at work, and I was like, no way. And then like a week later, they're like, yeah, me and my girlfriend are expecting. And I'm like, oh my God. So like, I don't know, like you might find out that somebody like is pregnant like unexpectedly. I feel like it most likely for many of you, it's going to be someone that is unexpected. You know, it is unexpected. It's almost like, I don't know, like I'm seeing that energy of like that, you know, like I don't know, that couple where the guy is like, I don't know, maybe it was like a YouTube video where he was like watching football or watching sports or something, and she's like, she breaks it to him that she's pregnant, and I don't remember, and he just, I don't know, like there's all those videos of like, you know, kind of getting shocked by something. So it could be something like that. It could be you that's unexpectedly pregnant, or it could be somebody else. Because I feel like it's more of like in the center of this reading, I feel like it's going to be somebody close to you. I actually feel like for some of you who are in a relationship, this is not, okay, this is going to sound weird, okay, but what I'm seeing is like, this is someone that maybe you got pregnant that's not your partner. Let's just say you were in a relationship. I feel like, oh, there we go, my phone. Oh no. I'm gonna rotate it back. Can you guys see this all right? There we go. Yeah, like I feel like this is you getting somebody pregnant. That so say you're in a relationship. This is not necessarily your partner, but for many of you, this is you getting pregnant. Like there's some element of getting pregnant unexpectedly, or someone close to you, somebody at work, somebody you know, that's pregnant, but like all of a sudden you're like, what? Like to me, it's like it's gonna kind of come out of the blue. Like you're not expecting them to tell you, or like you're not expecting them to be pregnant or something. I'm seeing that as well. That as well. Let me see what else. I feel like to me this is boyfriend girlfriend kind of situation. Okay, too, also the information I'm getting about the pregnancy is that for some of you, it could come through like someone you slept with, let's just say hypothetically, and then like, or you had like a relationship to of some kind, and then like broke it off. like are no longer with. So somebody like maybe you slept with in the past could come forward and say that they had that they got pregnant or they had a child like after the fact. Finding out your parent too. Finding out your parent somehow comes through. For someone, this is going to sound very strange, but like you could be in touch with, say, like relatives that are related to that are far away, that are at some distance, like blood relations, or like birth parents, or like things that would require some research. Like there's like a whole series. My guide's showing me like the whole series of like who do you think you are. So maybe you're like kind of digging deeper into your ancestry. I did like my ancestry, and it's really crazy. My ancestry, but like I did my ancestry. This was like back in 2012 when I had my injury, and I had like so much time to waste. I spent like all this time digging into like my ancestry. So some of you may be digging into my ancestry, and getting in touch with some like family, relatives and stuff. Or you might be getting in touch with people that you haven't talked to in a really long time too as well. Like people in your life doesn't necessarily need to be family, but like people you haven't talked to in a long time. I'm seeing that. But I also saw the ancestry thing. I don't know how that's really going to affect you, but I do see quite a lot of movement for some of you. Let's just say you're going to either be traveling or moving. I feel like any kind of travel that you're going to be doing is going to be really positive and bring you a lot of happiness. I feel like you're either going to spend time with people that you love or that love you. To me, this could be friends, could be family. Going away, spending time with people. Um, Maybe going out to meal or something, going out to dinner, going out to eat somewhere with people. I'm seeing that. I keep pulling this chain, okay? So for those of you who can't see it, to me this represents a cord of attachment to somebody or like feeling bound to something. Now, the weird thing is that like this has wanted to come out several times. Like I pulled it but then let it go, and pulled it and let it go because I wasn't resonating with it. But the funny thing is it's like, okay, for whatever reason, this needs to come out. Like this needs to be addressed. And I don't know what this is going to be. To me, this is like having an attachment to somebody, or having like a cord of attachment to somebody that, when I say attachment, okay, let's go back. When I say an attachment to somebody, it means that like you're having a difficult time letting that person go. An attachment is more of like just wanting to be in their life, or wanting to stay in contact, and feeling like like for some an unrealistic bond, but for others a realistic bond where you have something with that person. And then a cord of attachment to me is an energetic attachment, which comes naturally when you sleep with someone, and it comes naturally when you become very close to someone. And to me, this goes along with my Andromeda, the Andromeda energy of restriction, feeling restricted, feeling like you have a lot of responsibilities, you're bound to something. When the moon is in Taurus, I kind of always naturally think this, because to me it's like that strong Scorpio shadow of wanting to break free, wanting to leave the house, but you can't, because it's like you've got responsibilities. Maybe for some of you, you're like on Taurus moon days, I feel like I can't leave the house because I'm cooking and cleaning and like doing all stuff in the with the house. And then the moon moves out of Taurus, it's like, oh dear God. Um, it's a relief. Caribbean Queen is asking, am I reading for Virgo? Okay, so just want to let everybody know how these readings go, okay? So because this has come up before, on my channel, people used to watch my readings, which were specific, okay, to each sign. And then over time, I decided to really read for the collective, okay? I read for the collective, meaning I'm not necessarily specific any longer about signs, although if it comes up, I will mention it, but I'm not going to be like, this reading is for Aquarius or this reading is for Pisces. Unless, I did a video about some astrology when Saturn moved into Pisces. I wanted to talk about that, but essentially no longer doing specific readings for specific signs. This is collective. But I will also say any live readings that people watch, that is for you. I am reading for people that are specifically watching this video. So people that are watching, the energy is going to show up. This is going to be applicable to you in some way. Now, just because I don't say your sign, let's just say I don't say Virgo, doesn't mean that it's not for you. If you're watching it, I'm going to be picking up on your energy, period, end of story, if I'm doing a live recording. And I do need to be more specific about this because this has come up on Instagram as well. People are watching my videos and wondering if it's for them. Well, yeah, it's going to be for them because it's a live. It's the same thing as if you were to call me and I was doing a reading for you, a private reading for you. It would be the same thing. I'm going to be tuning into your energy. Now, the only difference is that when I do my live readings, a lot of people watch them after the fact where I'm no longer live. But if I'm doing a live recording and somebody's listening, then the energy is going to be for you. The energy in some way is going to be for you. Doesn't necessarily mean everything's going to apply, but for the majority of people that are watching a live recording, it is. That's how it works. I hope that answers your question. But essentially, the answer to your question, I'm not just reading for Virgo, but I am reading for you if you're watching my video, which means, yes, I am reading for Virgo in this moment. But when people say Virgo or when people say Aquarius or when people say a specific sign, it's like them asking me to categorize it, and I no longer categorize it any longer. It's just not. Okay, so we have these two amethyst pieces, and so that again, there's elements of some kind of breakup or something, or brokenness, some element of brokenness. It just popped up over my Instagram as well. The energy of brokenness has shown up several times. It could be a theme in the collective. I do want to say too, with the collective, what is the collective? The collective is every sign. It's every person. It's the collective energies of what the planet is going through at this time. It's not just about me or you. And I'm trying to get away, and I want to make this very clear because I can do better about making this clear. So I appreciate you asking. Essentially, and I did a video about the Leo super shadow. And the Leo super shadow is the age of Aquarius having a very strong Leo shadow aspect going forward for I don't know, the next 100 years or maybe even longer probably, where people were going to really need to think about others rather than just themselves. Because the Leo energy is the self. It's all about the self. It's expansive. It's about the self-love. It's self-growth. But Aquarius energy is about other people. So I made the shift from recording about specific signs because I wanted people to understand that they are part of a collective. And the way the law of attraction works is, let's just say hypothetically, you jumped into my video at a specific time. Most likely what I'm saying is going to apply to you. But at the same time, it's very important for everybody to start thinking about what's going on with other people, because that's the age of Aquarius. We have to stop thinking about ourselves so much and and really think, okay, what's going on in the collective? What's going on with our neighbor? What's going on with our friends? And it's a balance. It's not just like, okay, it's not just about, okay, what's going on with you, and not just about what's going on with your neighbors and what's going on in the world. It's a balance. So I wanted to make that point clear. I don't know, maybe I didn't, but I was talking about this before we started talking about these other things. This restrictive element. You guys will have to let me know in the comments, what this restrictive element means to you. It could be on multiple levels. Like maybe you feel like you can't, maybe there's not a lot of options for dating. For some of you, like there's issues with fertility. Like maybe it's issues with getting pregnant or issues within a pregnancy even. For some of you, you might feel like you've got some hard luck or bad luck. Or like you're chained to some kind of family luck, like you're having a hard time breaking, like a family line of energy. For somebody that's watching, it's interesting. I feel like most of you, it's just your plate is overly full. That's what I'm seeing, and you long for adventure because I pulled this adventure awaits. Caribbean Queen, I did want to say too, like. Anybody who's either a Virgo or a Cancer is going to be touched very much by the Leo energy because their sign is very close to the Leo energy, especially the constellation, okay? Constellation, the stars and that constellation. So essentially, the Virgo is going to have a Leo shadow more than other signs because the Virgo is... the Leo is their Virgo shadow in the tropical, well, it would be sidereal as well, but like the sign that comes before the Virgo is the Leo. So by the time we get to Virgo, we've got the Leo shadow. Same thing, but I also want to say, like, anybody that's touched by Leo would be Cancer as well. So that Leo energy, sometimes can be very present with Cancer people. Especially if they are born very close to, let's just say, like the cusp of Leo, and any Virgo that's also born very close to the cusp of Leo as well. So I want to scramble this and see if there's anything that kind of comes to me. Going back to the adventure, some of you are headed west. The energy is west. You see this arrow, it's moving west. It's a west. Although, I think it's a westerly wind. And I don't know if you know this, but like, what is the wind where the Wicked Witch of the West comes in? Is it the westerly wind? I don't know. I don't know if it's the Wicked Witch of the West. Maybe there's another one. Where the wind changes. I think it's Mary Poppins and the wind changes. Do you know what the direction of the wind was when the wind changed for Mary Poppins? I don't really know. I don't remember. But I think it's a west or northwest wind. And when I see this, or when I think of this, or I think of the wind changing, I don't necessarily feel like it's bad. But I feel like it's kind of bittersweet. It's kind of sad a little bit, because it's like that feeling of knowing you need to leave, knowing you only have so much time where you're at. And when the wind changes, that means your time is up and it's time to leave. And my guides are confirming this. And it's hard because you know that it's coming. It's like in Mary Poppins, it's like the whole movie, she knows at some point that she's going to have to leave. And the kids know that she's going to have to leave, that it's not, that she can't stay there forever. So for some of you, you're in a place or you're in a spot where you're not going to be there forever, and you know that you only have so much time when you're there. And it's really hard to have like an exit point, because then it feels like you can't really solidify anything when you're there. or that it feels kind of bittersweet because all the experiences you have in that moment, it feels like, you'll take those experiences, but you'll have to leave something behind. That's kind of how it feels. So this thing about the wind changing, but to me, it's also metaphor for life. Like, it's a metaphor. The wind changing is metaphor for life. Like ultimately, we are only here for a short time, a short trip. So like the metaphor for life is that, we know that we're gonna have to exit at some point. It's Mary Poppins. The whole thing is that it's Mary Poppins. Our life is Mary Poppins. We go where we're needed, and then we leave. And it's hard because we can't take the things that we want to take with us. We have to say goodbye at some point. And, so some of you may be leaving, you may be leaving someone or something behind. And I don't know what that is. You may be leaving a place that you love behind, people that you love behind. To me, it's when the wind changes, it means that your life is going to change. When I say that, it doesn't, but it's not bad. Like I said, it's kind of more bittersweet. Like, you're going to be leaving maybe a past cycle, or a phase behind, or certain people behind, or a place behind. I feel like for many, it's a place. And I feel like we're a place for some where you've put roots down. Because we have this plant here, a place where you wanted to put roots down. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm seeing here. I feel like any kind of trips that you could be taking at this time is really going to energize you. We have this Brazilian agate. This Brazilian agate is has a lot of really like zippy energy. You might be taking some short trips, like zipping here and there, Or to me, it's just more like, for some of you, if you leave where you're at, you're going to get like a burst of energy. Like, it's like you're going to be reinvigorated being in a new place, wherever that new place is. Wherever it is you're going, you're going to have energy. Or it's just going to take a lot of energy to move, or to go somewhere. That's what I want to say. Oh, I forgot my phone is about to die, and I have to go when it does this, because my recording will start to slow down. So I have to go. Thank you guys so much for being patient. Caribbean Queen, I appreciate all of your comments. If anybody wants to get a private reading, please hit me up. It's oracledaphne.com. Any donations are seriously appreciated. My housing, like I've mentioned before, is going to be changing in June. So all donations are really appreciated, even if wish you guys all the best, okay? And yeah, this is, and I will talk to you guys again soon. All right, have a good night, guys. Bye, guys.